On today's show, the Denver Nuggets get the blowout Game 1 win against the Phoenix Suns. Jamal Murray posted 34 points and 9 assists. Jokic with 24, 19, and 5. How were Murray and Jokic able to be so effective against the Suns here in Game 1? What adjustments can we expect moving forward into Game 2? Who is the X factor in this series? All of that and more coming up right here at Locked On NBA.
You are Locked On NBA, your daily NBA podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up and welcome to another edition of Locked On NBA, the biggest stories with the local experts. I'm your host, Jackson Gatlin, also host of Locked On Rockets right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Now, today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Next game, how about Nikola Jokic to score more than 26.5 points? What about LeBron James to have more than 7.5 rebounds? Or how about Kevin Durant to have less than 6.5 assists? And maybe Steph Curry to have more than 3.5 three-pointers made. So what is Prize Picks? It's daily fantasy sports, but how does it work? Basically, you pick 2 to 6 players, and if they score more or less than their Prize Picks projection, you can win up to 25 times back on your money on any entry that you submit. There's no competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections available. Prize Picks offers projections on any sport that you watch. That's NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, PGA. They've got you covered for all the action. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that simple. They're safe. They offer fast withdrawals. Currently operational in over 30 states and Canada. And now, every day of the NBA playoffs, one PrizePicks user will win a chance of becoming a millionaire. Full details can be found at prizepicks.com/million. So download the PrizePicks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code LOCKEDON. If you deposit $100, PrizePicks will give you $100. If you deposit $50, PrizePicks will give you $50. So don't forget to enter promo code LOCKEDON at sign up for an instant deposit match up to $100. Joining us now is the host of Locked On Nuggets, Matt Moore, who you can follow wherever you listen to your podcasts and on YouTube. Just search Locked On Nuggets. And Matt, the Nuggets just running away with the 125-107 Game 1 win against the Suns. We're going to get into some of the specifics here, but I want to focus on Jamal Murray first, who led the way with 34 points, 9 dimes. Now, I will say going 6 of 10 from deep kind of helps in this regard, but how is he able to be so effective against the Suns, not only scoring the ball, but just also as a playmaker?
Going back and kind of watching the film today, Jackson, I got to say, like, a lot of it's that he emulated Chris Paul and what Chris Paul did to the Nuggets 2 years ago. First possession of the game, drop coverage versus DeAndre Ayton. He snakes back to the middle and hits a little leaner. Later on in the same quarter, he drifts on a side pick and roll, gets Ayton, extends it far enough on a little bit of a show coverage to get Ayton into a switch coverage, step back and hits a three. The complete package there. His assists have gone up. He is more of a floor general than he has ever been. He has been a playmaker more than he has ever been. And he was surly last night postgame, as he often is after strong performances. He gets angrier and angrier the better he is. It was a dominating performance. He really tortured the Suns defense, who they started a Kogi to be like, this is our answer to Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And then that didn't work. And then they were like, here's Landry Shamet for some reason. And that didn't work. So there's a lot, I think, for the Suns to work on and clean up in Game 2, including, after the game, Monty Williams said, we're going to have to change up some coverages on Jamal Murray. And to be quite honest, they better be careful with that, because that can lead to even bigger problems for Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to do something, right? They can't let Murray average 34 over the rest of the series, or it's going to be a pretty short series, all things considered. Now, look, this game, I mean, it felt like the Nuggets were kind of in control of this game after the second quarter, right? A big 37-19 second quarter there. But then, with about 7 minutes to go in this game, it's a 10-point deficit, 11-point deficit. And, you're thinking, okay, maybe Phoenix has a chance to get back into this. And then the Nuggets reel off this 14-0 run and just completely run away with it. What was working so well for Denver in that stretch? Or conversely, what was going so wrong for Phoenix for them to just run away with the game the way that they did?
Turnovers was a big part of it. Turnovers. If you turn the ball over versus the Nuggets record when they have fewer turnovers than you is about 70%. They win 70% of the time when you have more turnovers than them. So it's a huge problem. Obviously, the two Bruce Brown kind of conversions for dunks in transition there. You got Nikola Jokic making a few plays in there as well. And look, obviously the 3-point shooting helped out Denver in this one. I think really what you kind of saw was the Suns are still trying to figure out what their best version is. They're still trying to figure out how to maximize things. And honestly, the Nuggets really kind of surprised them. I think the Suns came into this series with the same kind of approach. Honestly, a lot of their fans did, which was like, oh, the Nuggets are toast defensively. This will be an easy series. Denver's toast defensively if they don't care and if you actually are able to target their weaknesses. And the Suns did none of that in game one, which is a big reason why they lost control of that series. Jax, I got to tell you, 15 years covering the NBA, I don't know how many times that I've seen a team shoot 55% from the field and be down 20. That's what was happening before the starters were pulled for Phoenix. An absolutely crazy game in terms of the advantage that Denver had off turnovers and from the three-point line.
And you talk about the three-point advantage there. I mean, just looking at the discrepancy, right? Nuggets shot 16 of 37, so 43.2% from deep. Suns were 7 of 23. You're not going to win. I feel like you're going to win very few NBA games just on that low volume of threes to begin with. And then also the percentage is not exactly going to win you many games either, just a smidge over 30%. So Nuggets were plus 27 from long distance. What happens? Where are the advantages for the Nuggets in this series, Matt, when the three-point shooting inevitably levels back out, right? Because this you can't expect this to happen 3 more games in a row.
No, I mean, Aaron Gordon's probably not going to shoot perfect from three-point range. That's probably not going to happen for OAG. Although, he shot better this year. Early on in the season, he was shooting 40% for a while. It's probably going to level back off, but I will say, look, I'm always preaching against drop coverage. This has been my thing in the NBA is you can't play drop coverage in the playoffs. Bucks got away with it 1 year in 2021, but they were toast this year to the Heat in large part because of that. The Suns are looking at the same thing. They've got an aging, undersized defender in Chris Paul, chasing Jamal Murray off of screens. DeAndre Ayton has to drop back. That gives space. And when you're in that thing, now you're trying to bring help. And now that's when the Nuggets can kick to outside shooters. And the Nuggets also have great ball movement. And part of this, too, is I think what we're going to see is that the Suns make adjustments. The Nuggets are still going to get those shots up. I think they're going to have an advantage in every game in the series from the three-point line in terms of attempts. It's whether or not they make them or not. And the question is what degree, right? Because if you just take more to a significant degree, you can make less. You can make a lower percentage and still have an advantage. I do think that we maybe see Phoenix trying to change things up. It's going to be very difficult for them. That's not what they want to do. They don't want to do this. They want to take contested mid-range jumpers. That's who they are. But we did see Damian Lee in that second half. I think we're actually going to see a lot more Damian Lee to provide some spacing for the Suns. I think Monty Williams recognizes we do not have a chance if we can't put up enough threes just to keep pace with Denver.
Jokic finished the game with 24, 19, and 5. So, just a regular night at the office for Jokic. But the efficiency, not quite where you normally expect it to be for him, right? Just 9 of 21 is how he finished the game, but he was actually 5 of 14 there in the first half. Why exactly was he struggling so much against the Suns there in the first half?
So the numbers I will put some context on because you have to consider the fact that a lot of those were rebound, miss, rebound, miss, rebound, miss, rebound, miss. That's where a lot of those were on the tapbacks. But I will say this. Jokic's wrist has been bothering him over the last really 2 years. It's been a long time on this injury. He re-aggravated it in Eurobasket a year ago in the summer. All the way back 9 months ago in the summer, he re-aggravated it. It's been bothering him. It got worse in the second half. There was an injury that occurred actually in the Bucks game late in the season. The rap that he has had post-game has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And so I do kind of wonder if some of Jokic's efficiency, which is such a crucial part of his game, is being compromised against it. Now, that doesn't mean that he can't come out the next game. It's feeling a little bit better. Just that day, it feels better. And he absolutely crushes in efficiency because he got pretty good shots up whenever he wanted to. And I actually think he'll probably be better versus Ayton. Ayton got him a few times in the post. It was the only thing Ayton did well. So I think that we probably see better performance from Nikola Jokic at some point in the series. But it may be inconsistent, and that's going to open the door for the Suns to get back into the series.
Matt, who do you view as the biggest X factor for either team in this series?
Aaron Gordon. Not just because of the three-pointers in that game, but AG had such a hard time in the Wolves series because he's going up against Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns all the time. He's just looking around they're so much bigger than me. Literally all the time, guys are about a half size bigger than him. In this series, it's opened up quite a bit, and you saw that. He's getting looks. He's confident. He's playing with aggression. He's going to have some plays on the inside. He had a really tough bucket late on AM1. He is going to have a lot of opportunities in the series. If AG is able to be that third guy, it's going to be absolutely massive because if you're we got to put more attention on AG, then there's MPJ. This is the thing with the Nuggets versus the Suns here. The Suns' top 2 guys are incredible. They're amazing. And they had realistically, KD was on one last night. So just absolutely incredible shots. He's always going to hit. Book can probably play better. But the Nuggets have, you're going to have to stop Jokic and Murray and AG and MPJ. And that's one of the biggest advantages I think that they have in the series is their team play and how they play together. It's going to be a challenge for the Suns if Aaron Gordon has a great series.
For a full breakdown on this game and the rest of the series as it unfolds, you'll have us covered over at Locked On Nuggets. Matt, I appreciate you stopping by Locked On NBA with me.
Thanks for having me.